A historic military tradition is at the forefront of what we're about to tell you. Gorkha veterans are reportedly demanding that Kathmandu clears the way for Nepali youths to join the Indian Army again. In the central Nepali city of Pokhara, in fact, former Gorkha soldiers and their supporters took to the streets calling for recruitment to resume under India's Agnipath scheme. The protest was reportedly organized by the Indian ex-servicemen Gorkha Brigade Nepal, Pokhara. And this also comes just days before the Indian Army chief is scheduled to visit Nepal. According to the Nepalese media, the group submitted a 2-point memorandum to Nepal's federal government through the district administration office. They are basically demanding the immediate restart of recruitment. The protesters reportedly say the recruitment freeze has cost Nepalese youth an important employment opportunity, while putting a centuries-old military tradition at risk. Let's just break this down further. Nepalese youths, in fact, have been recruited into the Indian Army for more than 2 centuries, following a treaty that was signed between the British East India Company and the Kingdom of Nepal. After India's independence, 6 Gorkha regiments of the British Indian Army became part of the Indian Army under a tripartite agreement involving India, Nepal, and Britain. And they are said to be the fiercest fighters on the planet. Ferocious warriors who can basically guarantee you a victory. Famous for their slouch hats, curved kukri knives. They have served many armies, fought multiple battles, and won numerous awards, both under British rule and the Indian Army. The recruitment pipeline was disrupted around 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic. After India introduced the Agnipath scheme in 2022, Nepal asked India to hold off on recruiting Nepalese Gorkha, citing concerns about the new system and the future of the soldiers after their 4-year tenure. Under this scheme, recruits known as Agniveers serve for 4 years basically, with up to 25% eligible for longer service. The Indian Armed Forces are reportedly seeking to increase that retention share. But Gorkha veterans say the scheme could still provide young Nepalese with a better alternative to overseas employment. Their memorandum, it says recruits can earn roughly 4.5 to 5 million Nepalese rupees over 4 years with benefits. In fact, it contrasts that with low-paid jobs in the Gulf, for example, where workers can face temperatures approaching 50 degrees Celsius. That Gulf comparison, by the way, is central to the veterans' argument. According to them, military service offers Nepalese youth a more secure and dignified option than dangerous, poorly paid work overseas. This dispute coming as India and Nepal prepare to reaffirm their military ties, by the way. In fact, the Indian Army chief is scheduled to visit Nepal for 5 days from the 16th of August. And the president is expected to confer on him the honorary rank of General of the Nepali Army, continuing that reciprocal tradition between the two militaries. The Kathmandu Post also reported that the Indian Army chief is likely to meet the Prime Minister of Nepal as well. Former Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan recently told an outlet in India that the decision now rests with Kathmandu. This was in an interview to The Print. He said Nepal must decide whether its citizens will actually serve under India's Agnipath scheme, adding that there cannot be separate recruitment rules for Nepalese and Indian soldiers. Both Chauhan and his predecessor, the late General Bipin Rawat, began their military careers with the 11th Gorkha Rifles, remember. And the veterans are reportedly warning that the Pokhara protest may not be their last. They say further demonstrations will follow unless Nepal addresses their demand to restore Gorkha recruitment into the Indian Army. On to a GRAVITAS special report. Since February 2022, when Russia started that invasion of Ukraine, the world has been grappling with a series of conflicts. Apart from causing immense human suffering, these wars basically have also had a less talked about casualty. Let's tell you more about it. History. You see, it's not just taught in textbooks or seen on the surface through monuments, heritage sites, museums. An equally potent reminder of our historical roots. Wars in the last few years have resulted in extensive damage to hundreds of historical and cultural sites across Ukraine, Iran, Gaza, Lebanon. Let's take you back to March 2022. The world of culture was left in utter shock as Putin's forces were accused of bombing a prominent theater in Mariupol, which was subsequently captured by Russia. Countless civilians who were taking shelter there were killed. In June last year, Kiev's 11th century Saint Sophia Cathedral also suffered damage because of the impact of a nearby strike. This has been recognized as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO, by the way. Just 2 weeks ago, about 8 million books were destroyed in a Russian drone strike on a warehouse. This was in Ukraine's northeastern city of Kharkiv. Let's tell you more about this. According to UNESCO, at least 545 cultural sites in Ukraine have been confirmed to have sustained damage until July end. It's a staggering number. This includes 281 buildings of historical significance, 43 museums, 33 monuments. Iran's historical sites also have been bearing the brunt of aerial bombardment by Israel and the US. For instance, the centuries-old royal palace of Gulistan in Tehran. The windows, doors, mirrors of this UNESCO heritage site also suffered damage from the US-Israel strikes. In just over a month of active war, 149 historical sites across Iran suffered varying degrees of damage. This included 70 sites in Tehran alone. Over 50 museums were also impacted because of the war. In case of Gaza, the scale of devastation has been immense, with over 80% of all buildings being destroyed by Israel reportedly. The Great Omari Mosque, which was the largest and oldest mosque in Gaza City, reportedly dating back to the 5th century, was reduced to rubble in 2023. The mosque's library, the adjacent cultural center, which hosted thousands of ancient documents, also got heavily damaged. That's not all. In the same year, the IDF also conducted an airstrike on an alleged Hamas center located near the Greek Orthodox St. Porphyrius Church. According to Hamas, this led to the deaths of many displaced people who had taken shelter at the church compound. Since October 2023, almost 128 buildings of historic significance have been heavily damaged in Gaza. Besides this, 14 religious sites, 9 monuments, 8 archaeological sites have also been targeted. As far as Lebanon is concerned, Israel's bombing continues unabated. In April, for example, UNESCO expressed deep alarm as the damage caused near the vicinity of the ancient Beaufort Castle. Amid the ongoing conflicts, it's also important to remember here, one of humanity's deepest obligations is to its past. A more concerted effort to protect our heritage is a growing need. Nature has its own rhythm, its own pace, its own peace. But when we disturb that delicate balance, the smallest interference can also have far-reaching consequences. Let's tell you about what happened in Norway. A boat operator has learned this lesson the hard way. He was fined 50,000 Norwegian kroner, that's roughly $5,200 US, for disturbing a sleeping polar bear. Imagine that. The incident took place in Norway's Svalbard archipelago in the Arctic. According to the territory's governor, the ship that was sailing spotted the sleeping polar bear on land. He then reportedly used the ship's foghorn, waking up the animal, which moved to another location. Local regulations prohibit the needless disturbance, attraction, or pursuit of polar bears. The species, remember, has been legally protected in Svalbard since 1972. Authorities have not released the offending person's name or nationality. But this is also not the first instance. Someone has been fined for disrupting animals in Svalbard. Human interference coupled with global warming has taken a toll on the Arctic species. According to scientific estimates from 2015, the Norwegian archipelago has roughly 250 polar bears. Now, this archipelago is one area in the Arctic where the polar bear population is actually thriving, multiplying, and even getting fatter, reportedly, as sea ice continues to shrink. Polar bears there are spending more time hunting on land, preying reindeer, walruses. Walruses, by the way, have been protected in Norway since the 1950s. After hunting decreased their numbers, their recovery has also become a new source of rich, fatty food for polar bears. But then, when it comes to human interference in the Arctic, it does not end here, of course. Beneath the surface, the noise from ships, the naval vessels, is creating another problem for whales. Engine noise from ships can mask the low-frequency calls that whales use to find mates. Prolonged exposure can actually raise the stress levels and also disrupt social behavior. Shifting focus, when a large storm brews, land dwellers brace for the impact. But deep beneath the sea surface, sharks have already steered clear of dangerous waters. The question is, how do these deep sea dwellers get a sense of the calm before the storm, when most animals don't have any clue of what's actually churning, or do they? Let's tell you more about the studies that now are unveiling a trait of young white sharks that reportedly enables them to sense when a storm is on the horizon and activate a timely fleeing response. When Storm Hillary swept towards California, this was in August 2023, something unexpected happened. Beneath the waves, researchers tracking 22 juvenile white sharks discovered that more than half suddenly left their usual nursery waters. The young sharks appeared to sense the approaching disturbance and moved into calmer, more sheltered waters, returning only after the storm had passed. The shark population that was sampled to monitor this behavior comprised of 13 females and 9 males. They had been tagged with what the scientists call acoustic transmitters. 2 arrays of underwater receivers recorded more than 524,000 detections. Before tropical storm arrived, researchers consistently detected 16 to 19 tagged sharks in the nursery per hour. However, as the storm traversed, scientists noted something peculiar. The baby shark population was only half, as few as 8 sharks. However, days after the storm passed, the population rebounded to the nursery, and within 3 weeks, all the sharks returned. However, there was one outlier shark among the group that was never detected in San Diego again. One shark fitted with a pressure sensor dived to nearly 433 feet, the deepest recorded during the study, possibly to escape the rough waters above. But then what makes sharks, in a way, the nature storm sensors? How do they get to know? Sharks basically have a lateral line, a network of tiny sensor pores running along all the way from their head towards the tail. And this sensitive lateral line system can detect changes in the water pressure, the movement, the vibration. But apart from juvenile great white sharks, tiger and bull sharks have also been known to swim to deeper offshore zones. To further build on shark storm sensing activities, researchers from University of Delaware reportedly will be fitting 4 different shark species populating North Atlantic waters with CTD tags. These self-corroding tags are capable of noting water pressure and salinity and sending data to scientists via satellites. The study is due for May next year.